Hello, it's Doris with Aldi Books, and I'm here for Friday Reads, but it's actually more of a, what month are we in? August wrap up and a catch up with Book Naturalists Book Club. So, diving right in, I finished the Canoeing with Jose by John Lurie, and this was for the Book Naturalist Book Club in July, but I finished it the 1st of August. I did a vlog of this. I'll try to link it below. But I ended up enjoying this a lot more than I thought I would initially. So I feel like the Book Naturalist Book Club the last couple months has been a deep dive into dude bro literature that from a nature writing bender. This one was really a little edgy in the dude bro area in my opinion, but yeah, John Lurie is a journalist, kind of with a social bend, and he worked with some native peoples in the north of the United States, and this one writing group that he got in with some promising young writers from the local tribe. He met Jose, and Jose is quite a character. Okay, he just really is quite the character. He says it like he sees it. He doesn't hold anything back, and yeah. Initially, I was feeling like John Lurie liked to brag about himself a little bit and his credentials, and Jose just, needed to reel it in. But as I watched these two traveling upriver, so this book is essentially them following the path of some other literary figures from the 1800s that journeyed upriver. Yeah. Their interactions, and just you really got to know the two of them, and I just got the humor. It was subtle, but I got it. So yeah, enjoyed that tremendously. There's some gorgeous nature writing scenes, especially surrounding like bald eagles and the significance to both of these gentlemen. So yeah, I just feel like I really got to know people in this book. So enjoyed that. And then I just finished An African in Greenland by Tete Michel Pomasi. And this is translated from the French by James Kirkup. And this was like super interesting. Our author, this is his memoir of about it's several years. It's like, I think it took him about 6 years to arrive in Greenland from Togo, Africa. He just kind of worked his way up the coast and over to Europe and then on to Greenland, as you do. And then I believe maybe a year and a half in Greenland, and then some of his younger years as well with the snake people. So it's really interesting start where you meet him and his siblings and the snake woman, and then just like this charmed life. I guess it was a different lifestyle back then in the 60s, like I guess it was the beatnik crowd, but from a different perspective, I guess. But yeah, he just led this charmed life where people would just say, oh, yeah, come stay with us, and supported him along the way, even though they had just met him. But Greenland, like, I had no idea really, like, he calls them Eskimos in here, the Inuit people, but just the variety of peoples in Greenland, the Danes and different religious groups. And they had never, most of the people he encountered in Greenland had never met an African before, and they were so welcoming to him. But I think that he went on to become a anthropologist, sociologist. Is that a word? Anyway. But he just really, I felt like, had an interesting perspective. Kind of, you followed his mental thought processes as he analyzed the differences between his own childhood growing up in Africa and his experiences with the different peoples in Greenland. And, you know, he just decided that he found a book as a teen and was like, I'm gonna go to Greenland. I am captivated. And you know, that's awesome. So awesome. So yeah, these were like so vastly different, but really charming in their way. In a dude bro kind of way, if that makes sense. There are some interesting sexual encounters in this one. It's a theme. I think the author might have been interested in that theme, but that just like blew all the thoughts out of my head. Oh, I did want to warn you, if you are an animal lover, I know we all are, but if you are of the sensitive variety, there's a lot of stuff in here that you would find incredibly disturbing. So I would really warn you about that with this book. But super interesting, and you know, the cold weather, wow, just wow. Those were just really neat. And I haven't, it was neat thinking about them together. And then I just watched Heidi from My Reading Life, her wrap up of the book Naturalists for August. And she has read On Time and Water by Andre Magnusson, which I have not done yet, but I hope to have it finished for you by next Friday. Let's shoot for that. But she talked about how these two paired very well. So Greenland and Iceland. And this one, again, appears to be a bit of a memoir, but this one is more on a scientific bent as well, with climate change. So I'm really looking forward to getting to this one and talking about it next Friday. And then I need to jump right into The Plant Messiah by Carlos Magdalena, Adventures in Search of the World's Rarest Species. And I think this one might be translated as well. I'm not sure about that, but I will let you know. But this one I have had for a couple of years now. I got this, has it been a couple years? I think. I got this the very first BookTube Prize meetup. We went on visits to several bookstores, and I picked this one up because, I mean, look at that cover. Yeah. And I think like this is like the quintessential nature book for Doris. I love like adventure stories in nature, so I really think that this one, yeah, I mean, adventure is on the cover, so I'm hoping this is in line with some of those kinds of like you know, that Roosevelt book that I read on the Amazon. What was that? I don't know what that one was, but or you know, those bee books by that professor. I mean, I'm so I'm so on the ball today. Dave Goulson, and the other one's by Candace Millard. I don't remember the title, but anyway, so segue there, BookTube prize. I am about halfway through my BookTube prize reading. I'm doing nonfiction finalists, so I can't talk about that, but I'm reading those. And then I read some other books. I guess maybe not exactly self-help. One of them was The Power of Habit, which is not self-help, it's informative. And one of those, what did I call it? Fitlit, those foodie vlogs that I made recently. I will link that below. So I talked about The Power of Habit quite extensively in the beginning of the second one of those that I posted. And then Intuitive Eating and the Anti-Diet, which I kind of skim read both of those, but I talked about those in the first Fitlit video. If you're interested, I will link them below at least. And then finally, I read Dragon Hoops by Jean Lin Yang, and this was fabulous. I even teared up at the end, and it's a graphic novel about basketball. I mean, I find sports, like, they grab me sometimes. The stories behind them, not necessarily the games themselves, but, you know, those human interest stories with sports. And this author is fabulous. If you haven't read Boxers and Saints, about the Boxer Rebellion from both perspectives, the Chinese and the European perspectives, like, it's so good. And this is just brilliant. So he himself, this is somewhat of a memoir. He was a teacher at a private Catholic school, and he was looking for his next book to write, and the basketball team was doing really well. So he's like, let's do a year in the life of this basketball team. And, you know, that's been done before. And, you know, it's essentially the history of basketball, which, you know, has also been done before. But he goes at it from diverse perspectives. And it is just brilliant. You know, women in the sports, you know, Asians in the sport, just all sorts of things, and African Americans in the sport, and it's just so good. It's so good. So anyway, pick that up if you're needing a quick, impactful, enjoyable read. So yeah, I think I'm gonna stop there and talk about, you know, other stuff in another video. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back soon. Bye.